How are we, everyone? Welcome back to the stable. Having a bit of a spell from Supercoach in this one. I thought I'd do my ladder predictor. Um, I was thinking about it today for a bit, and then I started jotting down on my phone every chance I got, and I came up with my whole 1 to 18. I'm actually pretty happy with it. There's some bold calls in there, which we'll get to. I think some people won't agree, but I thought I'd do this for a vid today. Have a little spell from the Supercoach. We just made all those changes. No injuries today, I think. I didn't hear anything today. Touch wood. But we're just going to get right into it. And we're going to go 18 to 1. Bit of suspense, you know. And I don't think there'll be any surprise. 18 is Richmond. They're just rebuilding. I think they don't plan to be 18th, but they just got kids. They're kids galore. And honestly, they got good kids. I wouldn't be surprised if they don't come 18th, 17th or 16th, but I just think they will be 18th. Maybe win 3 games again. I think they won 3 games last year. But there's not much to say about Richmond. They're just rebuilding. This is literally what they're planning to do, and they're planning to rock back up there in 4 or 5 years. Which with the kids they got, if they keep them, if they keep the kids they got, they will be menacing. Second last and 17th, I have Essendon. I will be surprised if Scott makes it through the year. Generally, be surprised if Scott makes it through the year. I do think he's a bit to blame for the Kangaroos, where they ended up and where they've been stuck. And I just feel like everyone lets him off on that. Everyone lets him off on that. And I don't really know why. Because he's gone to Essendon. They got worse. They've gotten so much worse. And the injuries, man, I don't even want to get... They need to look at that whole department of medical for Essendon, because their players leave and then don't get injured as much. So, Essendon in second last, Merritt's leaving at the end of the year for less than they would have got this year. They should have accepted Hawks' offer, but that's another situation. But yeah, I don't think that'll be too surprising. Richmond and Essendon, the bottom 2. 16, I've got the Kangas not making much ground again. I was hot on them, hot as you could be. I had a couple of punts on them to be top 8 last year. Honestly, I was red hot. I think Clarko might just be dusted. I honestly think Clarkson might be dusted. I don't know if there's much more to it. He keeps shuffling the pack. He keeps moving everyone around. Yeah, another one I'll be surprised if he makes it to the end of the year is Clarko. Generally, even with the credits in the bank, he might have been the mastermind. I generally will be surprised if he makes it. If they start off similar, I would be surprised if he makes it to the end. So I've got Kangas 16th. And in 15th, I have you probably noticed, I actually have the Weagles above Kangas. I see the Weagles winning a few games. I see the Weagles maybe winning 5, 6, 7 games. Generally see, when I watched the Weagles last year, I thought they had moments where I was like, I can see what's going on here, but then they just get thrashed again. But I think Weagles have recruited better. Kangas have a better list. Kangas have a way better list than bottom 4, except for their defense is horrendous. They will concede 100 plus 15 times this season. And I don't think they have the firepower to score over 100 plus 15 times. But back to the Weagles. I don't know. I'm a bit optimistic on the Weagles, honestly. I wouldn't be surprised if they go 14th, 13th. It just means these other teams would have to go lower, which I'm not sure. In 14th, who do I have in 14th? Melbourne. Melbourne Demons. A little bit middle of the road, the Melbourne Demons. A little bit middle of the road. Don't really know what's going on there. I mean, they've shooted out the 2 stars. They've got as much money off the books as they can. It looks like they're trying to rebuild, but they didn't fully commit to the rebuild. You kept Viney. You're going to keep going for his last couple. I get it. But, unless... I don't think they got rid of Fritsch. Unless I'm saying you could have flicked Fritsch off. Yeah, I think they flicked Lever off, if I'm correct. But it was real halfway. It's like they didn't want to commit to rebuilding, so I just think they're going to stay 11 to 14th. I don't see them making any movement or getting any worse. Some good kids. They've got some really good kids. Langford's a really good kid. That Thorstrom, I rate him as well. Like there's a bit there, but yeah, I'm not sure. And 13th, similar. They recruited way better, but I do have Saints. I have Saints 13th. I just think it's weird with the Saints, right? It's like they're getting better every year, but slower than everyone else. Everyone is getting better or trying to get better every year. And if you just think about Saints, they do get better every year and you think, oh, this will be it. But then the people ahead of them, they just get red hot. Like, I can't see them being better than most of the teams ahead of them. A couple, they could be, but it's just, yeah, they're bizarre club, Saints. I can't wrap my head around them. Sometimes I think they should be way higher competing, but then, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I want to talk about Saints. Like I said, they recruited really well. Like Tom DeConing. I know I'm forgetting someone else. A big one as well. Why am I forgetting? And I should have made sure, but I'm sure they didn't lose Wilkie. If they did lose Wilkie, I might actually forgot. They might have lost Wilkie. Oh, I'll have to look at that after. They might have. I'm not going to commit to what I said there, but yeah, they're just going to be 11th to 14th. I just really think they're going to be 11th to 14th. Nothing's going to really change. They kept Marshall. Marshall to Coney doesn't make any sense. No sense. So, St Kilda 13th. 12th. This might rock a few people. This might be the first one you don't like, but I got Collingwood 12th. I think this year might turn quick for them. I think the club might turn on McRae. I think the fans might turn on McRae. I can see they're really old. They're really old. And McRae doesn't play kids. Unless they come out and opening round one and he's playing a lot of the kids. Even that, because he hasn't played them before, they're not going to be at the top level. Now he's got good drills, and he obviously coaches them well, but a lot of these other teams, I feel like in the top 8, not necessarily 9, 10, and 12, and 11, top 8, they're just getting better and better and better. Whereas I don't think Collingwood are getting better and better and better. If anything, they're on a slow decline that might turn into a snowball steep. So I do have Collingwood 12th. And even that feels a bit like I'm looking at these 6 here and it doesn't feel too bad at all there. And then to have Collingwood next, it feels weird and crazy, but yeah, I'm not sure about them. Especially having who I've got 11th, Port above them. I have Port above them only because I think their draw is ridiculously easy. So I think Port will be 11th, and they got a very good top end, but then they have some dross. Like that's a bit harsh, but they like the Butters, the Horn Francis, the Rosies, the Georgiades. They've got really good top end, but yeah, it's just it gets slim quick. So I just see the better teams bowling them over, but I see them flogging like Richmond, Essendon, Eagles, Saints, Melbourne Kangas, flogging, and they've done that for the last few years. To be honest, they've had a bit of that about them. So Port 11th again above Collingwood. I don't know. 10th, I have Geelong. 10th. Now, history says teams that get battered by 60 plus in the grand final don't make finals. This year there's a play-in final, so 9th and 10th play 7th and 8th. I have them 10th. I am back in history because I do think it's so much to come back from. But they will play finals, and I think they'll win that play-in game. Depending who it's there, I haven't even looked. I just saw. We'll talk about it in a minute, but it's just, yeah, teams don't come back from that battering. It's a lot to come back from. If there's anyone that'll make it work, it is Scott and Geelong. But yeah, I've got them 10th. Like I said, and they have a decent list, but then they have aging stars as well. So, but then they have Smith and Holmes, who are young stars. It'll be interesting to see what happens to Geelong early. It'll be interesting to see. I'm not sure on their draw. I haven't looked into if their draw's hard, or you would think it's difficult because they were in the grand final. But Geelong 10th and 9th, I have Carlton just pipping them. I could have easily had this other way around. I just think Carlton have to finish top 10. Honestly, there's not much theory to it. They just have to finish top 10. Even this, I don't think saves Voss, though. I think Voss is in strife at 9th. Voss has to be top 5. And I don't know how they get top 5. I don't think Carlton get top 5. Yeah. Like, I kind of don't know how they get 9th. But I just have a feeling they have to get top 10. So when the pressure's on, they'll win some of those games. But I'm not confident. I'm not confident with putting Carlton there. I feel like Carlton above Geelong and Pies doesn't make sense. But I feel like it does make sense. I don't know. It's going to be interesting to watch that. This little section here, these ones will be interesting to see where they're going. But we've got the top 8 next, and I'm pretty happy with my top 8. That's the thing. When I look at my top 8, I don't think any of those can get in it. So we'll get right into it. I do have I have Hawks at 8th, so I don't have Hawks climbing. I have Hawks doing almost exactly what they did last year. They swung big for merit, which would have probably changed things because they need that star. People will say Newcomb's a star. He is a star, but he's not. He's not a merit. So, like, if they got merit, I've probably got Hawks in top 4. But they still, and Will Day's gone down for half a season as well. So it's just they're gonna play playing finals. They'll win a final. They're not going to win a premiership this year. Their window is only just opening, so it's not panic stations, but 8th for Hawks, which means they'll be playing Carlton by mine, and they'll float the pass out of Carlton and playing if that happens. 7th, Bulldogs. They're just too good not to finish. They're too good not to finish top 8. Their list is too good to not finish top 8. Should be finishing probably top 4, but I'll put them at 7th, and I'll be versing Geelong. So Geelong might not win that play-in, in my little theory here. It's funny, they probably would in a play-in, but we'll leave that there. Yeah, Dogs, you want to talk about top end. Their top end is ridiculous. Bont, Richards, Darcy, Libba. Like, it's just foul. And they have some cracking good kids, man. Like this Sanders. Sanders? Why did that come out of my mouth and I'm sure that's not his name? I'll leave Sanders for a moment, but the fridge, Baby Bont. I'm a big fan of Baby Bont. Riley Sanders? Am I tripping? Oh, that's his name, right? We'll leave that there. But I think you know who I'm talking about. I rate him as well, even though I'm not sure about his name. Baby Bont. And yeah, it's just... They've got Dale as well for top-end halfback. People can say what they want about his accumulation, but he's still a top-end halfback. Yeah, the Dogs, they're not going to be winning a premiership, but they're going to be there. They'll win. I think they'll win a final. Same as Hawks. They'll win a final. I don't think they're going to do much damage, though. The next team I don't think is going to do much damage in finals either. And that they could lose their first final, and it's Fremantle. I've got Fremantle 6th. As someone that doesn't support Fremantle, I get pissed off at their coach. I can't wrap my head around the persistence with Sean Darcy when you have the unicorn Luke Jackson in your team. Luke Jackson is going to be a multiple All-Australian jacket getter at ruck. I don't think Sean Darcy is going to get one in their career. It's just, so why are we persisting? I could go on about this for ages. And it's not his only decision. And I'm not even a Fremantle supporter. They should be minor premiers. They should be grand final appearances. And they could, but I don't think they can with this Longmuir Wish.com horse at the helm. I don't. I think they got to make the change. I'm not calling for anyone's head. But I don't think he's the guy to win them a premiership. I don't think he's the guy to get them to a grand final. So if they say they got Horse, they should be flag favourites in my mind. But right now they're 6, and I can see them losing their first final and going out. I have no confidence in their structure, their play style. They're just too good of a list to not be in the top 6 or top 8. So yeah, Fremantle 6, just because of the talent. 5th. I mean, people are starting to probably figure out the teams that are left. And this one's a jumper. I've got them jumping back up. I have Sydney Swans coming back to 5th. Big season from Heaney. Big season from Goulden. Curno's going to kick 50. I don't think he's going to win a Coleman. 45. Oh, I'll peel it back. He'll kick 45. He's not going to win a Coleman, but he's going to do well. And yeah, I just see big year from those mids. Warner's going to pop off. Yeah, red hot on the Swans. And they're sneaky. Could they be in a grand final? I wouldn't be surprised. If we're starting to get territory now where these teams we're going to go through, I wouldn't be surprised if they're in the grand final. So, these Swans, red hot. I'm red hot on them. I think they're going to have a good season. We're in the top 4. And 4th, I have the back-to-backs. I have back-to-backs at 4th. I almost had them at 5th and Swans in 4th. Draw's going to be ridiculously hard as it happens. It happened last year, reigning premiers again. The draw's going to be very hard. Ridiculous talent. The list is absurd. The coach is a gem. So everything points to top 4, but I think it'll be 4th. And again, they could definitely be in another grand final. But don't underestimate the loss of Starcevic, though. I know they brought in Allen. I know they've got Draper. Starcevic is the best lockdown in the league. Best small to medium lockdown in the league. Maynard's probably second for me. And then you're probably looking at like McGrath, and I'm probably missing a few. The fella from Hawthorn. He's played him forward a few times as well, the fella from Hawthorn, but he's a good lockdown as well. But Starcevic by far is the best small forward lockdown there is. He goes on the best small forward every week. So that is a massive loss. I don't. Be interested to see the impact that has, how much small forwards start scoring on us, because we don't have a Starcevic replacement. We have Answorth who will do the role, but he's injured till like round 12. He did an Achilles late last year. He won't be back till halfway through the season, and he won't be at the level of Starcevic. Answorth is a serviceable player. He will do a job. But, that's a big loss. And the Big O. Big O is a big loss. But, 4th. Too good of a list. Too good of a coach. Got to be 4th. 3rd, I have Adelaide. The minor premiers. I have Adelaide 3rd. Again, top end, tick. middle of the pack tick. The amount of middle of the pack Adelaide have that are good is a big tick. Curtin's a big injury. See how that comes out, but that's a big injury. They might have like the best. How do I work? They might have the best average middle 10 players in the league, if that makes. They're middle. Them and Hawthorn. Hawthorn would be that as well. Their middle 10 of their team that are just that like average bet, they might be the highest level of average. So, and I think Nix has figured it out how to use this team. Obviously, if they won a minor premiership, it fell apart in the finals, but that first time back, and there was some giants in the finals that they came up against. So, third, could they be in a granny? Yes, but I think Swans or the Lions being in a granny is more likely than an Adelaide. And the other two teams I've left, which is probably going to shock a few that I have these two as the top two. But we might just get right into it. Second, I almost changed my mind right then, but I'm going to stick to what I put in my list, and I have second GWS. Funny feeling, gut feeling, GWS. I feel like if you look back at premierships, a lot of the time the winner of a premiership is a team that's floated around in the finals for a couple of years, got the taste of it, got beat a couple of times, got flogged, heartbreak losses. Giants have had that last 3-4 years. They've had some heartbreaks in finals. They've had some wins in finals. And they've just floated, and their best picks are getting older. Their best players are getting to their prime. I almost had them minor premiers. And I could see them not being in a granny. I could see GWS winning the granny this year. And I don't think anyone's really putting them on the radar. But they just, like I said, they've floated around there for too long to not have a splash. And like, yes, they got to one and got beat the pass out of. But it was a while ago now. And it's just, their list is good. Their list is good. So, and I think you're going to see more impact from Stringer this year. He didn't retire, did he? Double questioning myself a bit here. But even Oliver's not going to play all the season. But when he plays, I think he'll have a massive impact. I think Callahan's ready to rip. Tom Green, Smokey Brownlow for me. Smokey Brownlow. Yeah, Giants, man. I think Giants are one to look out for, honestly. For me, one to look out for. But we're going to get to our minor premier. And our minor premier is the Gold Coast Suns. The dimmer effect weighed heavy here because I think their list is now complete. They've completed their list. And they started winning away from home a lot last year. They were actually losing at home a bit. Clean that up and they might win 20 games. 20 out of 22. Or 19 out of 22. Which will be a minor. But I don't think they win the premiership. Could they be in the grand final? It's easier for me to see Giants, Lions and Swans in the granny than the Suns. But I think Suns should be red hot to win the minor. I don't think you can explode that quick to... It has happened before. Well, how I just talked about my theory about I think premiership winners have to be floating around the finals a bit. That'll be within 1 year they bowed out and then they exploded to the top. I'm not sure. But I do think they're going to be first, verily second. But yeah. That top two, I don't think many people are going to pick. But I think a lot of people have Sydney bouncing up. I'll be interested to see how many people have Collingwood falling, as far as I have Collingwood falling. Like, I don't even have them in a play-in. And every year there's a shooter. Like, by this standard, Sydney were, 10th? So maybe they are the shooter. But, yeah. I'm pretty happy with that list, but I'm sure you will let me know if it's shite. But yeah, that's my 1 to 18. I'll probably do a end of year awards video as well. Let you know who I think the Smokies are in that, and who should be the favourites. But that's it. And my premiership favourite is probably GWS. GWS Lions Sydney. No, that doesn't sound right. GWS Lions Sydney. Peace.